Ooh, let me do that.
Hello, Twitter. It is I, the Berkeley Slam. Oh, it's Colin. Hey, what's up, Twitter? Or
You're
Instagram? Are we
right
on?
on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Instagram is not working, and I'm not trying to get it to work tonight.
Okay, cool. So, you know what? If y'all are watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, you are in the Cool Codes Club because Instagram doesn't want to have any act right. So we are just live for y'all. But welcome to the Berkeley Poetry Slam. We are here every single Wednesday bringing you some of the best poetry on the internet. Today we have an amazing show. We also have a dope ass feature. But before we get into it, today's show is brought to you by the support from our generous supporters over at Patreon and viewers like you. This show, while super rewarding, still has to abide by the merciless rules of capitalism. So every contribution given to us helps RichOak Events plan, budget, and ensure that we are paying our feature artists, supporting local fledgling writers, and providing a space for the East Bay community to enjoy live art. So I would like to give a thank you in particular to our patrons, Renee Edmonds, Emily Chow, and Kalalili for being regulars. Thank you to Jessica Kokachik for supporting one of our weekly workshops, and a special shout out to Alice Grimm for pledging $100 a month in support of one of our venues, the Allen Bluford Center. If you enjoy what you are seeing here tonight, or just love the arts, or believe in reparations and the liberation of third world people, head over to patreon.com/RichOak Events. There you can sign up for different tiers of support. You can go from $2 a month all the way up to $100 a month. Any contribution you give helps us meet our goals, pay our venues, and give back to our community. If this interests you, head over to patreon.com/RichOak Events. But Colin, what if I can't afford to donate monthly or want to budget first, but still want to support you on a one-time basis? Well, I am so glad that I pretended you asked. You can also donate to us one time via Cash App or Venmo. Our Cash App is #RichOak Events. Our Venmo is @RichOak Slam. Reggie will be dropping that down in the comment section. We also have a GoFundMe, gofundme.com/f/support-rich-oak. We found out that due to coronavirus, one of our biggest grants is having its budget cut. So we're expecting to see a lot less money. So we're asking for the community to help support us so that we can continue providing the quality shows that we have been this entire pandemic, and have even better kick-ass shows when we are able to do live events. So Reggie will also be dropping the link to our GoFundMe. Please help us get to our goal of $5,000 by the end of the month. Now, with that being said, we are ready to start our show. So for those of you who don't know, a poetry slam is a competition. And because it's a competition, we do have a few rules. Number one, for poets have 3 minutes to share whatever the fuck they like with a grace period of 10 seconds. If you go over 3 minutes in your grace period of 10 seconds, you will be deducted points by our scorekeeper, Profit. At 4 minutes, you will be muted. It will be super awkward because you're going to be still talking, but like I'm also going to be still talking. And it's not good, clearly not going to be the end of your poem, and I have to like step in and talk to the audience. It's not going to be fun. We haven't had anybody go over 4 minutes yet. Let's not let today be the day. Don't make Black people do extra work during Black History Month. But aside from that, no props, no musical accompaniment, no animal acts, just anything that you can do with your own body and voice. The top 5 poets move on to the second round. We also have a gimmick, a tradition, if you will. It's called Word of the Day. Our word of the day is indissoluble, which means not dissoluble, which isn't really a great definition, but that means incapable of being annulled, undone, or broken. So poets use the words indissoluble in their poem. They get an extra point. And no, you can't just say this poem is called Indissoluble and then it's about your daddy issues. No, you have to work it organically into the poem. Next, we have rules for our judges. Because it's a competition, we do need judges to judge the poetry, and they have the hardest job in the room because they have to score every poem from 0.0 to 10.0. 0.0 is the worst piece of shit you have ever heard in your life. In fact, you would rather walk outside, step in a pile of shit, change shoes, and step in a pile of shit than you would rather listen to this poem the first time. A 10.0 is the best thing you have ever heard in your life. This poem has changed you all the way down to your soul. Like you will reincarnate and remember this poem and how much it changed your previous life. So point being, there aren't many zeros, there aren't many tens, please score accordingly. The only thing that we ask is that you stay consistent. We have this thing called score creep, where as the night goes on, we settle into poetry, know what to expect. We may or may not be drinking or smoking something. Poetry starts to sound a lot better and you start to score higher. Please don't do that shit. Try to stay as consistent as possible so that the first poet that goes up has the same chance as the last poet that goes up. To help you with that, we will have a sacrificial poet. This poet is not in the slam. However, you will judge them as if they are in the slam. They are your practice. So anybody you like more, score them higher. Anybody you like less, score them lower. Just stay as consistent as possible. And now we have audience. You have rules too. Yes, I'm going to tell you what to do in your own home. Number one, like, share, and subscribe to our Instagram and Twitter at Berkeley Slam and to our Facebook at the Berkeley Poetry Slam. It really does help us gain support. More people see us, more people can enjoy our shows. So share what you see. Also, comment on the feed. Let these poets know how much you love the poems. We always try to post feedback and like support that y'all give in the comment section into our Zoom comments so that the poets can see how much y'all fuck with their work. Next, speaking of showing love, poets, another rule for y'all: show love in the Zoom. When people are going up on stage, feel free to clap, cheer, say "let's go," and then promptly mute yourself so that you don't cut off their poem. But back to the audience, your last rule is that we believe in freedom of speech, but freedom of speech does not mean freedom from accountability. So people will be saying whatever the fuck they want, but you can also let them know how you feel about that. If you hear something that unsettles you, we encourage you to say something, have that conversation. That is what poetry in this community is for. It's to get people thinking, to start conversations. So I implore you, if you feel uncomfortable with something someone said, to sit with it and also to say something and start that conversation, ask questions. Don't be a dick though, don't be a dick. But definitely ask questions, facilitate conversations. So with that, I do believe we are ready to start the show. Are y'all ready to start the show?
Yeah.
All right, so when I say on deck, that means you are not, oh wait, I have not even told you who's in the slam. Oh no, I'm slipping. So in the slam, we have a kick-ass list. We have Chardonnay, no, actually that's wrong. The host checklist never got changed like someone said they would. So in our slam, we have Mai, followed by Silva, followed by Chardonnay, and ending our night will be Aquila. Give it up for everyone who is performing tonight. Gang, 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 gang. Woo!
Woo, woo, woo.
All right. All right, so with that, we are ready to start the show. When I say you are on deck, that means you are not coming up right now. That means you are next, so get ready. On deck, we have Mai, but coming up to the stage right now, give it up for your sacrificial poet, Colin. Woo!
Yeah. Go, Colin.
Wow, that host is crazy. I'm from a cemetery where the dirt is constantly filled with lead and flesh. Empty midnight streets echo the voice of a boy whose face you can't remember. I mean, I have forgotten what my childhood friend looks like. His name becomes too hard to pronounce. Now I'm only able to place singular features on the faces of his family members, like how his brother got the same eyes. His mother got the same nose and smile. His cousin caught the same bullet. I'm telling you, I see ghosts in the face of the living. I hear them cackling in empty hallways. Their laughter sounds like stray bullets and shattered glass. When he died, we planted a tree in his honor at our high school. And now his only legacy has withered back into the soil, a patch of dirt resembling another tombstone. Have you ever watched someone die twice? Watch as your last memories turn to ashes and get lost in the wind. How do you mourn something so easily blown away? And now even his name rots in the back of my throat. Some days memories are the only thing keeping him alive. Other days I count the forgotten times as another death. I call myself a murderer. I'm still hiding bodies. I keep digging new graves for him on my tongue, but they never seem deep enough. The slightest resemblance on a stranger exhumes his tomb, shows me his bones, but I swallow them before I can let his name burn the tip of my tongue. I live in a graveyard of my own making, a cemetery of forgotten names, the bodies always calling out to mine. I know one day I will be buried here too. Someone else would choke on my name, bury my bones in an unmarked grave at the back of their throat. I know there will always be another grave to dig, more flowers to place, another name to forget. There will always be another cemetery with someone burying more bodies than they want to remember, but more than they could ever forget. Thank you.
Wow.
Sacrifice, Colin. Oh my gosh, I don't know who that person was, but oh my gosh, it's so ugly. Wow. But judges, send your scores into our scorekeeper. Profit. All right. Before we get into it, if y'all like anything you hear and you feel inspired to start poetry yourself, or maybe you are a writer who is looking for a place to write, we have a workshop every Wednesday for our show at 7 p.m. on Zoom. Check out our Instagram, our Twitter, and our Facebook for more information about that. Our links are always in the description, but it's a place for us to get our ideas down. Our feature ran a really amazing workshop on artists, developing artists' career building and stuff like that. So it's not just poetry, it's how to be an artist and really capitalize on your art. So on deck, we have Solva, but coming up to the stage, give maximum love to the first poet of the slam. Give it up for my...
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Is there blood in heaven? Are the red and white stripes still around? Did the flags get thrown out yet? Do we still have to hide our oppressions? Is there blood in heaven? Will this pill still be hard to take in heaven? Will they still taste like the color orange? Will I learn to stop picking apart bottles like puzzle pieces, stop pushing pills together like they will fix this, not push pills down throat like they'll push puzzle pieces into serotonin? Will I still have this pain in heaven? Will I remember even then? Are there drugs in heaven? Will temptation send me to hell while I'm already gone? Will bodies be bruised the same way she was? Is there blood in heaven? Will they still unmake me in the last stall of the girls' bathroom at lunch? Will I ever escape the image of fist meeting face only ever named faggot in their eyes, like my mind only exists to fear? Will punches still pull skin apart? Will blood still pour and blue-bodied pain still take hold of this throat? Will news still play tug-of-war with my father? Is there blood in heaven? Will colonizers still dress up their kids as the people their fathers killed? Will it still be called Thanksgiving? Do people still blame the victims? Do we still ignore trains' bodies when they hit the floor? Are there guns in heaven? Do they shoot in heaven? Can you be killed in heaven? When you wake up in heaven, do you find yourself in sweat-stained sheets? Do the flashbacks still get you? Does the memory of a mother making a mockery of your body still haunt you? Do you still walk on the left side of the sidewalk just in case? Do you still feel like you take up too much space? Do construction workers still scare you? Do the textures of certain foods still feel too similar to second-grade tears? Is there blood in heaven? Will I still remember these days? Days spent untangling mind from biases and thumb from screen. Days spent rewriting suicide note into poem. Days spent protesting for my family. Did closed casket ceremony spit tears into their eyes? Did I have to have a closed casket? Did body crush sheets one last time before claiming home to be casket? Did the transphobes get me? Did the drugs get me? Did the seizures get me? It wasn't me, right? Like I didn't do this, meaning, did I win? Will Why does only suffering breed revolution? Are we still indissoluble? Is Shimmy still fighting? Is Hope still fighting? Am I still fighting? Thank you.
All right, give
Let's go.
round of applause for my gang. No profit. I did not use word of the day, but it seems like mine did. Coolio, and I do believe our sacrifice got a score of a 28.5. Give it up for the poet and not the scores. But moving on deck, we have Chardonnay, but coming up to the stage right now, give maximum love for Sova.
Yay!
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
1. I've always been described as an extension of someone else, deteriorating to protect them as they watch me disappear, disposable, liable. My identity is housing every narcissist, gutting me. I was planted to uproot myself, question my safety without belief, the child within me and I, for each of our shadows, every thorn, the rubble we are sprouting from, and every spore scattering to bloom without us are deserving of peace, without being the first body, surrendering the sacrifice too. Duct tape, wrapped around the broken pipeline, concealed under ashtray he refuses to admit he repurposed. He'll never apologize. He blames me. The erosion of adhesives, but connection, trauma still hissing from the pressure of an entire bloodline is indissolubly hooked to the same fix. My father and their cigarette left burning. I will never hold my innocence again. Withdrawing the fragile silhouette I choke on. The exhale, distance between spark to filter. Appendage of addiction, my own, ending it all together, holding space for time to doubt everything and grieve the slim chance I will make it. 3. The peak of rejection, replacing my spine with her lungs, carry her survival just to shift the odds on my own, a failing band-aid. Power of eternity left powerless, braided half-empty tanks, pulling the plug with fists too loose to untangle every injection. Hazardous to my capillaries, my mother birthing another tragedy, the residue in my palms, the labor of her breath of my womb released. Her memories prescribed flashbacks by gaslight, her antibodies atrophy, receding tectonic plates, ashes in a vacant room alone, my aching spirit. Once we bury her, it will all be over. I will have nothing left to heal. I've always been described as duct tape, wrapped around the peak of rejection, an extension of the broken, replacing someone else. My spine, pipeline deteriorating to conceal another ashtray with her lungs, protect them. As he refuses to carry her, they admit he repurposed survival just to watch me disappear, another shift odds. Disposable, apologize on my own, liable, he blames me, a failing band-aid. My identity is the erosion of adhesive. Power of attorney, housing a split connection, left powerless, every trauma still braided, narcissist hissing from half-empty tanks, gutting me, the pressure of pulling the plug. I was planted to uproot an entire bloodline with fists too loose to untangle myself, indissolubly hooked to the same fix every question. My father, another injection, hazardous to my safety, cigarette left my capillaries without burning my belief I will mother the child within me. Never birthing another tragedy, and I hold the residue for my innocence in my palms again, each of our shadows withdrawing the labor of her breath, every thorn, the fragile silhouette of my womb, the rubble I choke unreleased. We are the exhale her memories prescribed, throttling distance between flashbacks from spark to filter by gaslight and every spore, appendage of her antibodies atrophy, scattering addiction, receding tectonic plates, to bloom my own ashes without ending it all in a vacant room, us together, alone, are deserving of peace, holding space for my aching spirit, time without being the first to doubt everything. Once we bury her body in grief, it will all be over. Surrendering a slim chance, I will have nothing left to sacrifice. I will make it to heal.
Let's go.
Give it up for
Oh my God.
gang. All right. I know some of y'all are watching us on YouTube, but for those of you who aren't, we do have a YouTube channel where you can see amazing poets like you're seeing tonight. You can also catch our previous shows. If you ever miss a show, check out our YouTube. They're on our YouTube. We also have videos of specific poems. So if you like anybody you see tonight, check out our YouTube page at Bay Poets Unite. And see if they have a poem up there. And if they don't, DM us. maybe we can get a poem up. So definitely support all of our channels, and please keep donating to our GoFundMe page. Reggie, if you could drop that in the comment section one more time for the folks on live. But moving forward, on deck, we're getting through this pretty quickly. On deck, we have our last poet of the first round, Akila, but coming up to the stage right now, give maximum love to Chardonnay. Woo!
Woo! Let's go.
Yay! So excited.
Chardonnay.
Oh, you cute.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
The only female spiritual being is the manly woman. My mother, Oshun Iwuji, has two icons, one male, one female. There is only one she. The two of her reside inside of me in her likeness. So when I say I am a woman, I mean that I am her daughter, the river that will birth and bless as swiftly as it will destroy you, the machete used to kill and to cultivate. Your actions will choose which hand you receive. This language tastes like poison on my tongue, denying me the words to tell you that I am woman, daughter, and female, always manly. You say woman meaning docile, meant to serve all but herself, subservient, less than. You say Black woman meaning mammy, meant to mule and pander, and she's desperate for a man regardless of her ethnicity. Even when the woman is spoke of without hostility, you don't understand the flow of the river. My waters change more than they stay the same. The passion that goes into cooking with the ancestors is the same reason I keep a machete on their altar. You cannot mute this intensity. My gender is creation. Paper meets pen. The words are the page, the ink, and neither of these things. Egg meets sperm from the moment of conception, how quickly I've become more than I was, my parts becoming one, the man and the woman forever inside me, indissoluble, until you cannot tell them apart. My womb can never be denied. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Chardonnay. Gang, 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 gang. Reference, I forgot to give these scores. Mai got a score of a 29.1 and Sova received a perfect 30. But give it up for the poets and not the scores. The scores are really just to get y'all here and to make sure that we can give people money. But really, we are here for this amazing poetry, and nobody has disappointed yet. It's been a really fire night, and more fire poetry to come, because on deck, we have our amazing feature, Shawn William. If you do not know who that is, you are going to learn. This is the Pettyweight champion of Facebook and social media right here. So it's going to be a great night. But coming up to the stage, give maximum love to the last poet of the first round. Give it up for Akila. Woo!
Let's go, poet.
Hey. Oh, and my name's pronounced Akila, by the way.
Like Akila and the Bee?
Yeah.
Yes.
15 years and still recovering. A torn American flag blows violently away in the wind. Doors of family generation homes unhinge. Family photos melt away in the water. That little baby don't even remember the looks of her great-grandfather. Waters burge and burst through low levees. Rain pour from the sky, guess the clouds got too heavy. Is this the day God washing all sin from earth? An exile of the origin peoples causing a rebirth. Another storm is coming, we need a rebirth. Brass bands, thunder sound like brass brands. Rain tapping on the window sound like feet dancing to a second line band. Super Sundays turn into food drive Mondays. Cause $1 million FEMA money can't cover the thousands of lives lost. Oh no, FEMA can't cover this cost. Mildew creeps in the walls. And the stench swells noses. X marks the house. 09105, rats, 2 dead, spray painted in red. And you know the big easy ain't so easy if you live below sea level, cause water got access easily. Them levees ain't broke, they was never meant to be fixed. Got our hoods hoodwinked and betwitched in your own country called refugee. We only want your beads, oil, and food, you see. The water is all the way up from your neck to your feet to expel the undesirable and make a profit. It took 5 days for them to make a change. 5 days for them to make a change. Condoleezza was out shopping while Hearts and Charity Hospital were stopping. Bush was on vacation while people were in starvation, searching for food in gas stations. So don't tell me we've moved on when family homes are gone and blighted. Cause it's been 15 years and still recovering. 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 15 years and family still suffering.
All right, gang, 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 gang. Give one more round of applause to
Let's
Akila.
go. Come on,
I'm sorry
poet.
for fucking up your name. Prophet DM'd me and told me it was pronounced Akila, and I thought that you had said something to them. So yes, we're just gonna do the classic blame the light skinned nigga on this one. But on deck, we have the second round, but coming up to the stage right now, we have an amazing feature, Shawn William. Let me just read his bio real quick because this man has done a lot of shit for the Bay. Shawn William from Oakland, California is a captivating, multi-talented award artist, National Poetry Slam finalist, and curator who has toured the world. Shawn's vivid storytelling, clever wordplay, comedic timing, and relatable tales is so breathtaking and refreshing that after one of his sets, you realize that you were taken on an emotional roller coaster. He has the uncanny knack of making tears of symphony and laughter, of sympathy and laughter. One out of five of the critically acclaimed writing collective Fiveology. Shawn has toured with Grammy Award winner Jill Scott, featured on Versus and Flow, the Arsenio Show, Radio City Music Hall, while selected for residency at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. With 2 books for published release and 2 television shows on the way, the future is looking bright for this talented artist and author, and our stage is going to look even brighter with this dude up on here. So I'm going to let his poetry talk way more about him than his bio ever could. Give maximum love to our amazing feature, Shawn Williams.
Woo!
Gang, gang, gang,
The
gang,
way
gang,
that
gang,
you
gang,
read
gang.
that bio, man, that just strengthened my melody. Real good right there. Put more, like my beard felt stronger, all that. I'm about to take you on tour with that shit. I'm sounding good, everything, the levels are fine?
You're all good. Yeah, you're good.
Right. So let's get into it. I put the gun to my mouth because it's the only thing that I've eaten in days. My best performances are off stage in front of friends, convincing them that everything is okay, because being a Black man in America, it is not okay to say I'm not okay. It is often frowned upon, laughed at. So we Black men spend time saying that we're not okay, showing signs of weaknesses. We, instead of self-care, we self-medicate, eat unhealthy, live recklessly, die in toxic relationships. They say that depression is like living in a body that fights to survive with the mind that is trying to die. And I can't lie. I no longer have the strength of being the strong friend, trying to put out everyone's fires when I'm living in a smoldering house of ashes. Do you know what a cry for help from a Black man sounds like? It sounds like I'm good. It's cool. No, for real, I got this. Just gonna keep it pushing. Little do you know that I'm pushing everything away, emotions, friends, family, you. Baby, these are not vulnerability poems. These are suicide letters written dipped in ink and formaldehyde with metaphors used as medication to numb and hide the pain, a testimony. My last Shawn Williams testament, either cremated or wearing a slim, clean fitted suit in a mahogany casket, tombstone saying, here lies the liar, failed father, husband turned has-been, introvert man dealing with manic depression. Let this poem be either my obituary or read at the cemetery. February 22nd, 2016, I was let go from my job that I was at for over 15 years. Marriage was in shambles. Got a text from my mom telling me that she was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. And if that wasn't enough, it was for the first time ever the check light engine came on in a car that I could no longer afford. I am not going to lie. I was done, ready to quit. To keep it honest with you, I cried uncontrollably like a child needing someone to hold me because I was tired of holding on, ready to let life go with these big ass hands and take an infinite nap, dying in the bed that I made for myself. But a funny thing happens when you're fortunate enough to see the sun come up. You go to Facebook and see a 1-year memory of your son come up. That's when you realize that you have something worth living for, and the world doesn't need another fatherless child lost to gunfire. That was almost 5 years ago. And I'm not gonna lie and say that I haven't had some bad days, but what I can tell you is I'm still here. I'm fortunate, blessed, okay, I'm good. No, for real, I'm good. So I'm just gonna run through some poems. We're gonna have some fun. Shout out to all the poets that came up before me. Shout out to the Berkeley Slam. I have had long history with this slam, and I appreciate always being brought back. Can't wait till we get back into the real world. I used to host the slam finals, so hopefully I can get that invitation again. But again, let's get back to poems. The name of this poem, I'm still working on it, but let's just say it's Joe Biden and Kamala before they were invited to the cookout. You have a right to remain silent, and honestly hope that you exercise that right. So overworked public defender who does not come from the public that you come from defends your freedom half-heartedly. Son, you don't know what a trap house is until you stepped inside of a courthouse, shackled and cuffed like your ancestors, judge looking at you like a direct deposit on payday. You, my dude, or a payday, a quota, with the quarter of your life hanging in the balance of Lady Justice, can't see nothing but dark meat. You, my dude, are food, ready to be consumed in the belly of the beast. Lucky that you got this far because police normally hold trials in the streets, silencing you like Grant, Gray, or Gardner, or silence in the hole like Khalif. Will you take this plea bargain of legal mumbo jumbo jargon, or wait up to 5 years to be judged by peers who do not look like you, think like you, hang with niggas like you? They'd rather hang niggas like you than hang juries because you remind them of their worst fears. Basically, my brother, you got two options. Tell me what I want to hear, or wait for a trial that might not come for another 3 to 5 years. I will make your bail so high that it'll force your mama to cry and say, son, I can't help you this time because I am the judge. I am your mama now, and I'm ready to give you life. So you better start talking, or this gavel will be your last chance at freedom, or put the last nail in your coffin. I will bury you so deep in paperwork and red tape that by the time you get out of prison, your youngest son will be walking through those gates. Black men are being used as batteries, packaged, exposed, and exploited to run this country, dunk, and dance for this country, basically being ran by this country like batteries. My brothers who were copper toned get used like copper tops, harassed when the copper stops, get a felony and they snatch us off our blocks. 100,000 of us black men are in and out of prison daily. You do the math, that's 100,000 nigga watts from Bed-Stuy, New York, Chicago, Oakland, down the watts. My brothers are being used, abused, and often confused for batteries. It doesn't matter if it's drug dealing, credit card scam, murder, or assault, and batteries, 18 in a package. You might call them prison buses, but I call them the new millennium slave ships. Call us double A's. That's African Americans going to the pen making pennies. Black men manufacturing clothes for Old Navy, The Gap, and J.C. Penney's. Shoes made by Kenny's like batteries. Adults being used as votes. Get a felony in America, you just lost your right to vote. Even these Proposition 21 laws got my young children being tried as adults. My babies are being used as triple A's, powering the country and spy for the CYA. That's why they call these motherfuckers charges. Batteries so fat cats' pockets get puffy. Behind my back, the judge is probably calling me a Jigaboo Energizer Jungle Bunny. I can hear the as now. Black men in prison, we keep going and going and going and going. So, born and raised in Oakland, California. A beautiful, poetical, there's stuff called Youth Speaks and Brave New Voices. I call myself Old Speaks and Old Ass Voices. I've been blessed to be on numerous slam teams, and my first year in slam, it was a great team. We made final stage, and it was, I don't know how that feels for you guys, but the first time being a rookie poet making final stage in Chicago in front of 3,000 people was outside. That was amazing. And the poem that I did on stage was the one I just did, the Batteries poem, but the one that got us to finals. We needed a 29-5 to tie and a 29, so the 29-6 to win. They put me up in the final round, and I did this poem, and I got a 30. The name of the poem, Bloodlines. I've got heroin in my family. Other people brag about having Dominican, West Indian, Cherokee high cheekbones. It doesn't matter if your last name is Walker, Smith, or Jones. We all hear people laugh and joke about, ooh, you've got that good hair. You must have that Indian in your family. Europeans flowing through your bloodlines, but unfortunately, nickel bags of brown smack flow through mine. My biological father sold and used biohazardous drugs. His biggest customer was my mother. Me being in a woo made me next in line, and she took that next line. Now, weed is what I heard he smoked, and he dabbled it in with a little bit of coke. I heard my father was part deacon and South Bronx Puerto Rican, but it wasn't the affection for his children that made him poppy, more like the opium that made him poppy. Popular with the mommies. Unfortunately, one was my mother, Sugar Daddy before Sugar Hill, trying to fix her sweet tooth. She wasn't born with a silver spoon in her mouth. More like that blackened spoon that was ghetto heated to make sure she had everything she needed. My mother was too vain to shoot it in her veins. Nah, she'd rather reenact the scenes of Lady Sings the Blues, and she shot that shit in between her third toe, then covered it with sock and shoe. In her womb, I would huck and chew. Umbilical cord feeding me more waste than 81st Avenue, East Oakland, quarter pounds. March 28th, I was born 2 3/4 pounds. Skin ravaged with eczema and keloids, but still didn't give me more scars than my mother and father. Biological parents selling and using biohazardous drugs, making me chemically imbalanced, mentally challenged. I was born with the name of DeMarco. Foster home renamed me Negro. Adopted parents flipped it up to Cation because it meant wander of the earth, so I changed it to inner city and now to Shawn William because that was my poetical birth. That means I'm a Negro exposing reality. I represent all those black on black Oakland fatalities. So why you lay in your delusional reality with your family and friends saying that you have any of your family? Motherfucker, I've got heroin in mine. My family tree consists of pimps, pushers, junkies, the porch monkeys from people who smoked trees and got hung from trees, all screaming inside of me, either in dime bags or body bags, black caskets or clear crack capsules. So when they say shine, shit, why are you so dope? It's the dope. I'm a product of the product. The 1980s ghetto narcotics, similar to Marvin Gaye writing a line or two before writing I Want You, Inner City Blues. My inner city blues does not have me cross the line between love and hate, but more like love and Colombian wait. Shit, wait. You know, now that I think about it, mommy took smack to hide from daddy's smack because he said she was always talking too much smack. And it's hard to find biological junkies because they always cover up their tracks. So while you sit back and say you have Indian and West Indian, Cherokee high cheekbones, it doesn't matter if your last name is Walker, Smith, or Jones, that's fine. Because I've got heroin in mine. Thank you. I'm gonna do 2 more and we're gonna keep it going. Again, I just wanna really say thank you to the Berkeley Slam. Thank you to the new generation of poets. These poets that are coming up, continue on representing, keep on writing, keep on performing, keep on being realistic, be yourself. and just keep the tradition going with the Berkeley Slam and Bay Area Slam poetry, please. I do have to promote some things. I have 2 books that are coming out that are in the works. One book is called The First 5. It is the first 5 years with my son. His name is Langston. It's just a beautiful journey. If you don't know, I'm an adopted individual. So my son is the first reflection of me that I've ever seen. I've never met my biological mother and father. I've never met any of my siblings, but I have seen my son and I see myself for the first time in him. So he is my reflection. So what I'm doing is just writing on the first 5 years, that journey. After that, it'll be the next 5 years, and then the next, and then 20. By the time his 21st birthday, God allows me to be that old, I will put out on his 21st birthday all those books encompassed in a coffee table book. So it is called The First 5. That will be dropping July of this year. My other book that I'll be dropping probably next month on my birthday, Gang Gang Aries, stand the fuck up. We're the best sign. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I just had a little Aries Tourette.
Gang.
All right, gang. Yeah. It's called Sex, Love, Heartaches, and Healing. It is a series of poems by a serial monogamist. And that's going to be a dope book that I'm really looking forward to. That's next month. And then I got some stuff going on with 5-Ology, but who cares about all that? It's about poetry. Get your ass on. We didn't ask you about the promotion. Let's get to the poetry. So I have that son, Langston, and I also have a stepson. Yeah, shout out to Sagittarius, whatever. I have a stepson as well, and it is a beautiful journey that I've gone through. He is now at Morehouse, so I'm happy about that, but he's in Atlanta. So with that being said, the first time that my son ever called me dad, I am not gonna lie, I was scared as shit. Not that his mother didn't warn me that this day was coming, but scared to the fact of knowing that it was my responsibility to make sure that his progression from young boy to man goes smoothly. Because I don't know about you, but I've seen too many 20, 30, 40-year-old boys running those streets, not taking care of their responsibilities. And I didn't want my son going down that path, not on my watch. Now, I don't know why his biological father does some of the things that he does, and for the life of me, I can't understand why some men do not want to take on the job of being a father when that's one of the only jobs that are always hiring in this jacked up economy. But instead of me bashing them, I'm gonna step past it. Step out on faith with the help of God. Step up to the plate where others are afraid to bother. I don't know how the world defines the word, but you are looking at the true meaning of the word stepfather. I write these poems so my sons will never have to write one. Because in my profession, I come to too many of these Zooms and microphones and watch artists come up here talking about daddy issues. And I don't want my sons to have that signature piece. I want them to grow up and have peace. His green eyes might have charmed their fair share of women, but they've seen the ugliness of what us men can do. So if he's ever wondering why I'm being so hard on him, I tell him, son, I'm not trying to be your friend. I'm being your father, getting you ready for life. And if he ever wonders if I love him, I tell him, son, more than a painter loves his sight, more than day turns into night, my love and dedication and passion for you should let you know that I'm telling you the truth. And the only time that I have problems with him, he be doing some weird old goofy ass shit sometimes in the bathroom. I see him and he's like doing push-ups on the sink and putting baby oil on his chest with his fake ass muscles, old weirdo. But now I'm sounding like my father. Sarcastic, another father that stepped up to the plate where another man wasn't there to bother. And though we do not share the same bloodlines, his DNA reads DAD to me, just like him to me. Now that's 3 generations without any biological relations, but I wish another motherfucker would tell me that that's not my father, or he's not my son. I see it in his mannerisms, bony chest poked out, fist balled up when anybody tries to disrespect his mother when I'm not around. He is my firstborn son, born at the age of 11, and I tell him, I got you, I love you. You can come to me no matter if I'm busy, upset, or mad. He is my everything. About him, I know everything. You don't believe me? His favorite color is green. His favorite singer is Usher. His favorite movie is The Temptations. His favorite word in 2021, can you believe it, is still his swag. And his favorite superhero, shit, is dad. The first time that his mother told me never to break her heart, little did I know that her heart was a metaphor for him. Thank you very much. I'm about to get up out of here. This is going to be my last poem. Again, thank you very much, Berkeley Slam. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at I am Shawn William, ShawnWilliam, and you can catch all kinds of poems. I'm a part of a collective called Introverse Live, where we'll be bringing that back. It's a dynamic set of 5 poets, myself, blues. Yes, I'll put the information in the chat as well. Blues. Black Chakra, Masterpiece, and Prentice Powell. Speaking of Prentice Powell, I'm part of a collective of 5-ology with Prentice Powell, Dr. Javon Johnson, Rudy Francisco, Andrew Tyree, and myself. We're 5-ology. We'll be back. We're just waiting for the world to open up, and we've got some great things coming as well. So just follow me. If you're at the workshop, I'm about getting poets money, and I'm about getting money. So just, keep on doing your thing, keep on being seen, and I'm about to go out. My last poem, I just told you about 2 of my sons out. Stepson, who was just like my son, and I have my 5-year-old Langston, that's just my world as well. I needed one to be able to deal with the other. My stepson, Trey, got me ready for my son. And there are so many things that I was so happy with within the 5 years with my son. His first steps, that was great. His first time he said, Daddy, he said Mommy first, but we just got to take that. I mean, she carried him. But the first time he said Daddy, the first time he caught a ball, just all these his first day of school, I took him there. The one thing that I'm not looking for, that one first, is the first time that I got to explain police violence on young Black boys and Black men. That's not what I'm looking forward to, but we have to have these talks with our sons. So this is that talk, but maybe not to the son, just to the world, letting you guys know that this is a father's warning shot, a strong oath that if anything ever happens to my sons, that if you ever graze their beautiful face with billy clubs or bullets, confuse taser for pistol and label it in your report, label it an accident, I swear I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger, that you would have thought that God or Samuel L. Jackson turned psycho. Something has to change with some of these police officers that have hatred in their holsters, but this poem is not to spark a change. This is a father's warning shot, letting you know as a Black father, I've done everything in my power to make sure that my sons do not hurt you, so I'm asking you to do everything in your power to make sure that you do not hurt them, to serve and protect them. You will not make me like Trayvon Martin's father, because I'm not that strong of a man. I know myself. I am weak and reckless. I don't have the time to sit in the courtroom, listen to testimony, testing my patience from a prosecutor that normally sends little Black boys to prison, hoping that this time he'll be on our side to get it right. I do not have time to see if you will get it right. You will not convince me that it took an illegal radio Raheem chokehold to take down my son. Forget that. I'm his father. I play wrestle with both of them all the time, so I know exactly how strong they are. His mother will not yell no, scream why, and if the day ever comes, she comes to me with tears in her eyes, no breath or hope in her lungs, asking me, begging me, baby, why? Do something. As God is my witness, I will snap, break, scream, bust shots, fuck a march. I will fly off the hinges, release the Kraken, turn into the same beast you thought my son was when you pulled the trigger. Scratch that. I will turn into the same beast you were when you pulled the trigger on my son. My son's face will not be used as a mural or put on t-shirts. My son's name will not be attached to a hashtag or be a part of a war cry. My son will not have me and his mother dressed in all Black on the cover of a magazine holding a picture of him. My sons are not beasts. My sons are not threats. My sons will bury me. I will not bury either one of my sons. My sons, Langston and Dre. They're light enough to be considered pretty boys, but dark enough to be called suspects. And I know what some people think. Do we get this upset when it's a proximity, AKA Black on Black crime? No, I don't. Because something seems just heinous and disgusting knowing that my hard-earned tax dollars are being used to hire hitmen to put hit out on my sons. The only time that a child should be taken away from his mother is by the medical staff after birth is given. And as soon as they check the vitals, clean him off, they return the child back to the mother. So if you take that option away from me, what do you expect me to do? So if you ever see my sons walking down the street at a routine traffic stop, I am asking you, begging you to make sure that they're able to come back home. Hey, this ain't even a poem. This is a father's warning shot. Don Caluminati, track 2, first verse from Tupac, and I swear, and I quote, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. My name is Shawn William. Thank you very much for having me. You can follow me. I am Shawn William. More poems, all kinds of stuff, insight. Again, thank you very much, Berkeley Slam, for having me.
All right. Thank you so much for blessing. You one more round.
Let's go. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
Gang, 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 gang.
I forgot you were an Aries, and now like all your Facebook posts are starting to make more sense. Like the way you just wake up sometimes and choose violence has, like when you're on post block, I just don't be on Facebook.
Because I do go to jail every now and then. I
You being on post block and Reggie being on post block, I'm just like, what do I have this app for? But we still have a kick-ass show. Thank you so much for featuring. For reference, Chardonnay received a score of a 29.9 last round, and Aquilos got a score of 29.3. Gang, 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 gang. This round is our money round. We will be going in reverse order. So the order for this round will be Aquila, followed by Chardonnay, then Silva, and ending it off will be Mai. Woo! All right, are we ready? Are we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Gang, gang,
Sure
gang.
everybody else.
On deck, we have Chardonnay, but give maximum love to the first poet of the second round. Give it up for Aquila.
Woo!
Woo!
Gang, 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 gang.
Grandmother was a magician. I know she didn't have a wand or a spell book or a black cauldron. She had her home. She had her kitchen, where she became sorceress with salves, stirring sauces with sausages, soothing neck and back, reminding you that slouching unwelcomes blessings. She said, sit up and be fulfilled. Give us a reason why we worked in them fields, telling me to be like my curls on the back of my neck and rest. Because after all, they'll still grow. Grandmother was a magician. Black coffee and butter bread with sisters on Sundays. She was brown riverwater hands that kissed on blackened soil. She was plump figs and tattling bay leaf trees blowing in the wind on the corner. Tickling roots and tickling her grandbabies' bellies with colored pickings from her garden. The sun knew not to shine. The sun knew not to shine. The sun knew to shine above her hat, because it knew not to play with her face. Grandmother was a magician. She was leather Bible and bay leaf, humming and hymn, soiled hands and satin gloves, beacon and belt, brown spirits and church wine, cook and conjurer, mother and father. She was, she be, she is, she. Grandmother was a magician. Grandmother is a magician. Grandma magic, legs crossed somewhere in the air, telling the North Star to wave to her children.
Woo! Give it up one more time for Aquila.
You okay?
Gang, gang, gang. Judges, send in your scores.
Let's go, poet. Yes.
And remember, please donate to our GoFundMe page so that we're able to continue the amazing work that we've been doing this past year and plan to have even more kick-ass shows in the future. You can also donate to us via Cash App or Venmo. All of our links will be in the comments section. Gang, gang, on deck. We have Sova, but coming up to the stage right now, give one last round of applause for Chardonnay.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, let's go, poet.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
All right. I have a trigger warning for childhood sexual assault. A contrapuntal on my childhood. As a child, I swallowed a seed and planted it in my throat to choke on my words. Underwater rules, see, yell, oh sky, no reach or control of my mouth or lungs. The truth, it's not the first plant I nurtured myself, groomed. Does it matter that the seeds were forced into my mouth I swallowed? A child, hiding whispers, my voice disappeared. Seeds filling emptiness, forcing deeper, and by the time I noticed the thorns I was already swallowing, more seeds and phlegms, and spitting vines splitting out a parasite, silencing my voice. I played in a secret garden. The sky turned my stomach in, out, watching me bare. This is part of the game. The flower exposed. Sun paints yellow sky, teeth spreading a secret in front of me, smiling. That was the joke. If I laugh too, I'm not alone. The seeds growing in me, more come, follow when I leave the garden. Secrets, I think I know why I was embarrassed now. Spit it out, but full, unshakable seeds. Confessions of evil deeds are a fairy tale. It's just the game, too full to speak, swallowing my words to hide the blood, exposing myself. The first wound I remember. As a child, I played in a secret garden. I swallowed a seed and the sky turned my stomach, planted it in my throat, in, out, watching me bare. This is to choke on my words, part of the game. Underwater rules, see the flower exposed. Sun paints yellow sky, no reach or control of teeth, spreading a secret. My mouth, my lungs in front of me smiling. That was the truth. It's not the joke. If I laugh too, I'm not the first seed I planted myself, alone. The seeds growing inside me, groomed. More comes. Does it matter that the seeds follow when I leave the garden? Secrets were forced into my mouth. I think I know why I swallowed. A child, hiding, was embarrassed, now spit it out in whispers. My voice disappeared, but full, unshakable seeds. Confessions of evil deeds are feeling emptiness, forcing a fairy tale deeper. And by the time I notice it's just the thorns, I was already the game, too full to speak, swallowing my words to hide the blood, more seeds and phlegms and exposing myself. Splitting vines, splitting out the first wound, a parasite silencing. I remember my voice. Thank you.
Woo, come on.
Right, give one more round of applause for Chardonnay. Woo!
Let's go.
And for reference, Akila got a score of a 29.5. But fuck the scores, the poetry is what's important. Also, judges, y'all have been very good about getting your scores in. Thank y'all so much for being quick on the draw. We really appreciate being able to calculate these scores as quickly as possible. So with that being said, on deck is but coming up to the stage is our penultimate poet, which I am told by the dictionary means second to last. Give it up for Sova.
One. I am told to respect my sister like a second mother, but she convinces the first not to come to my graduation, resenting me for escaping, discovering whatever she doesn't have will never belong to me. It's only fair. But I watch her like she just knows, hand-me-down sabotage the chains that protect her cage, the cycle she accuses me of birthing too. Elders are gifts. The offerings taken for granted, my cousin leaves the fruit of her labor to nourish me, the rescue I didn't know I needed to create a family I wasn't afraid to come back to in the closet, the skeletons no one invited to resurrect. I've been grieving, throwing out the candy wrappers, the poison blink that bound us in repetition, audacity, the healing, finally unraveling her freedom 3, guiding our young of muscle memory rewritten for guardians of different branches from the same tree to keep blooming, unarmed, but to replenish without her. My child is a blessing. I come out to teach her. I came out teaching her to tie her shoes, to my innocence. Making room, I forgot I left in protest of regeneration, waiting for me to follow their footsteps, the untrampled blossom I watered, the one the ancestors will blame for. To guide the youngest, a better life. I've been replanted in soil I've never felt. My nephew flourishing in blue nail polish. Markers to make up for the girl playing dress up, proclaiming, Mama, I'm beautiful, to affirm it. To understand the remnants of purity, let them run too. In his smile, sifting through my pockets, the bullets taken before him, I pray for his promise, returning the oxygen I lost, for the cartography of hope. I am told elders are gifts, guiding our young to guide the youngest, to respect the offerings taken for granted, of muscle memory rewritten for a better life. My sister, my cousin, guardians of different branches, I've been like a second mother. Leaves from the same tree, replanted in soil I've never felt. But she convinces the fruit of her labor to keep blooming, my nephew flourishing in blue nail polish, the first to nourish me. Unarmed markers, not to come to the rescue, but to make up for my graduation. I didn't know I needed to replenish the girl resenting me for escaping to create a family without her. Playing dress up, discovering I wasn't afraid, my child, proclaiming whatever she doesn't have to come back to is a blessing. Mama, I'm beautiful, will never belong in the closet. I came out to affirm it, to the skeletons, teaching her to understand the remnants of me, no one invited to tie purity. It's only fair to her shoes to let them run too. But I watch her resurrect my innocence in his smile. Like she just knows I've been grieving, making room, sifting through hand-me-downs, throwing out the candy wrappers I forgot I left in my pockets. The chains that bound every generation. Shit. Sabotage the poison link. Protest the bullets taken. The chains that bound every generation before him that protect us. In repetition, waiting for me, I pray for her audacity to follow his. Cage the healing their footsteps, promise the cycle, finally unraveling the untrampled blossom I watered, returning the oxygen I lost. She accuses me of birthing her freedom, the one the ancestors will blame for the cartography of hope.
All right, show maximum love for Silva.
Let's go, poet.
Come on.
All right. And Renee got a score of a 29.3. Give it up for the poet. Gang, 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 gang. And now on deck, we have getting to see who wins this money. But coming up to the stage, give maximum love to our last poet of the night. Give it up for Mai.
Pew, 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 pew.
Thank you. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you, but you are not currently spotlighted. There we go. Now you're spotlighted.
Awesome. Growing up, I liked to walk down to the forest, hide under trees while earth shattered around me. When I couldn't, I hid under suitcases in my basement closet to drown out screams. I still went there, though, in my head. I sit in a forest full of me, dead and living me's, and I am big-bodied, toothy flesh fluttering. Forest is me. I am forest and the body sitting in it. I am deity, holy, and everything you told me I would never become. Moss sits on fallen willow tree. Bugs crawl in death, eating away at wet wood, a mockery of everything I once was, a pond, tired of swimming through itself and never reaching the other side. This forest, a sanctuary for all of my bad thoughts. It was the way I learned to listen silently. Forest bled blue in streams only the mud could find, so I became the mud, had to seek out every piece of me in hopes of getting it back. I haven't found all of me yet. I'm still trying. The wind whistles love in a rushed sort of way, like it never wants to come out about it, just keeps air in motion and body alive. The bears smell fear. Hear the wide-mouthed whispers about me. They come to kill it and eat it up. They come to save the forest and kill the me of it. This body is battleground. This body only learned to carry itself uphill, home to every warfare that could spit its bet into the game. Forests scattered with landmines. Landmines, the words you spit at me through toothy caged mouths. This recklessness was inevitable, though. It's the only thing you should expect. When you pair withered mind with a body caving in on itself, caving into the hollowed out spaces of my stomach. Woodpeckers turned every crevice into a new feeding ground. Stomach is ground. Stomach is body itself, is still stomaching the power of carrying a living system. My grandmother taught me the power of a story. They tell me they will save a failing lung and crumbling town. Told me that stories are the backbone of her mother's home and the framework of any true love. I guess this was just a story I created to love myself. I sit in a forest full of me, dead and living me's, and I guess I love all of me. Thank you.
All right. Give one last
Wow.
applause
Go.
for my. And after a time penalty, Silva got a score of a 27.1. Can everybody say fuck linear time?
Fuck linear
Man,
time.
fuck linear
Fuck linear
time.
time.
Yeah, time only matters when I am clocking in. Remember that.
I know that's right.
That is the only time matters, when you are getting money. All right. So thank you so much for everybody who packed this stage. While we are calculating scores, a few shout outs. Number one, we are not the only show that we are not the only show that happens every first and third Saturday. So I think, oh shit, that's this Saturday, is the RichOak Alchemy open mic on IG Live. So at RichOak Alchemy, signups go up same day. It'll be in a whole post. So follow us on social media for that. We have another show that we run, the Oakland Poetry Slam, which is every third Tuesday. So we just had a show yesterday. Usually we are at Lucas Tap Room, but we are online. So check out IG at the Oakland Slam or on Facebook at the Oakland Poetry Slam for more details about when our next show is. We have amazing features lined up for the next like half of the year. So really keep up to date with us. And if y'all know of any other shows, open mic slams that are happening in the online community that you would like to see us at, or would just like to spread those community events around, let us know. DM us, let us know what's going on. We don't want to be isolated. We definitely want to know what's going on in our community, because the most important word in community is unity. Yes, we are that corny. We are in fact poets. But do we have the scores? The scores. So my last score was a 28.6 for reference, and we are still, let's see. Wait, was it a 28.6? Yes, 28.6. We are still waiting for scores. So while we're waiting for scores, the GoFundMe page, please, please, please donate to our GoFundMe page. We have a goal of $5,000 that we are trying to get to by the end of the month so that we can make up for losses that we are taking from our grants getting their budgets, because due to coronavirus, we have been blessed to be able to provide the platform that we are able, and not only be survive this pandemic so far, but actually to thrive and grow during this pandemic. And has been due to amazing support from y'all, our patrons, our grant funding, but our grant funding is getting cut, and that's what covers the most of experiences. And as Cardi B said, coronavirus, shit is getting real and we are getting broke. So we do need your support. So check out our GoFundMe page. Our link is in the description. If you cannot donate, the best thing you can do is share it. I know everybody knows somebody with some money. So if you want to keep this going, don't just say, I can't donate, so I'm going to ignore it. Share it. There's people on your Facebook feed who also love poetry just as much as you and want to see us keep going. So the more people that see it, the more support that we can get. It is the law of averages. So we have our scores. So I need a drum roll because in third place with a score of a 57.7, give it up for my woo.
Yay!
Let's go. Come on, poet.
All right.
Hi. Thanks.
Yes, you deserve it.
There we go. I'm not muted anymore. All right. Thank you so much for sharing my. You have won $20. I forgot to announce that. But yes, you have won $20. And now in second place with a score of 58.8 and winning $30, which, if my math is correct, is exactly $10 more than 20. Give it up for Akila.
Woo!
Anything you want to say to the people?
Dang.
You want to plug?
Hey, mama. I would like to thank my mama. Hey.
Nice. Shout out to all the mamas out there supporting all of the art. Nice. Mike said, LMAO, I did not know how to react. Me neither. I never know how to react to mom hosting this shit. We're all poets and socially awkward. All right, now I need an extra drum roll because in first place with a score of a 59.2, winning a total of $50, give it up for Chardonnay.
Oh my gosh, yay!
Okay.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you to the judges. Thank you to the viewers at home. Thank you to RichOak Alchemy. Thank you to everyone who's donating and going to donate and sharing the GoFundMe, because spaces like this are super important. And you know, I wouldn't be getting this $5 or $50 without the money that the RichOak people have. So yeah, support the GoFundMe and come to the workshop Saturday. I will be running it and it's going to be super kick-ass. So yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you so much to Chardonnay, Akila, Mai, Sova. Big shout out to Shawn William and everyone who helps this show get produced. So that would be Arvin, who does a lot of our social media and usually doing our tech. Thank you, Reggie, for doing our live streaming today. Thank you to Prophet for scorekeeping. Thank you for Tino for getting all of this put together with your about managing skills. And most importantly, thank y'all for always giving us something, for watching us and always supporting us, because we would just be a whole bunch of fucked up people yelling at each other in a Zoom, but at least we get to share it with y'all. So thank you so much for sharing this amazing experience with us. Check out our workshops, check out our other shows, all of our social media. Please like, subscribe, and share. Donate to our GoFundMe. Drink lots of water. Pick up after your goddamn dogs. I'm tired of stepping in shit on these streets. But other than that, have a good night. We will see you next time.